Good morning and welcome back to the homestead. So as you saw in our previous video, we're here in Florida. We're settled in pretty well. Got a few little bumps in the road on the way down. One of them being the microwave. I started to take it apart a little bit. So this piece here I took off because it was falling off. You'll see it's broke on both sides. And I wanted to be able to see in here a little bit and see what's going on. It looks to me like, and we're going to take it apart and show you once we get it apart. It looks to me like the microwave is supposed to set on a shelf, and this trim ring is supposed to just keep it from sliding out while you're traveling down the road. I don't see any shelf in there, so I have a feeling they just threw it up in there, threw 4 screws in it, and said, send it. Which tends to be pretty typical of these RVs. Any brand, doesn't matter what brand you're getting. So that's what we're going to do this morning. We're going to yank this microwave out of here. We're going to see if we can figure out what's going on and come up with a solution to fix it. So I'm going to set you guys down. I'll bring you back when I've got the microwave out and I'll show you what's going on. So hold on, let me get this microwave out of the thing and on the table and we'll take a look. Alright, so I've got the microwave out, and like I suspected, this bezel is hooked to the microwave basically to keep it located where it's supposed to be. You can kind of see right there. Lines up with the front of it. It's a little bent there and broke off down there. And also, as I suspected, let me get you a little light up here. There is nothing down in there. That's the top of the range. Just a little piece of 1/4-inch plywood. So as I kind of, oh wow, you guys are all covered in sawdust. How's that? As I kind of suspected, it was not installed properly. That bezel that's really just designed to keep it from falling out was actually being used to hold the whole weight of the microwave into, press board cabinets. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fit some plywood in here. I've done a little measuring. I've got some scrap 5/8 plywood here left over from a project we're working on. I think that's going to be perfect in there. We'll probably order a new bezel as well at some point. I did just look while you guys were waiting on Google, and I found it for like 17 bucks, but they're on back order everywhere. So I'm assuming they're sitting on a shipping container somewhere like everything else. So we're probably going to see if we can't, just kind of take the sin out of the broken edges and put this back together so it's not dangerous, and see what we can come up with. So I'm going to go ahead and get the plywood fit in here, and I'll bring you guys back and show you what I did here in just a second. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see that okay or not. There's a little bit of light in there. Ended up just making a big old notch for the wire because it doesn't matter. This is just for the microwave to set on with some strength. And you can see that's solid as a rock. I did end up cutting it in the middle right here. The opening was smaller than the plywood was long. And I didn't really have the option of cutting the plywood shorter because it wouldn't go over to the edges and set on the cleats. So I split it lengthwise. And then I was able to kind of bring it up at an angle, stick one end in, lay it in place. And that's also going to work fine, because again, remember, all this is trying to do is hold the weight of the microwave. Doesn't have to look pretty. You'll never see it again when we're done. It's really just there. This is what the manufacturer should have done when they built this cabinet. They should have gave the microwave something to set on, but they didn't. So I'm probably going to give the camera to Sue and see if she can't get us a little video of me putting this cabinet back, this microwave back in, just to show you kind of what's involved in that, and we'll see if we can't make this look workable for now and go from there. So why don't you hold on a second while I find Sue, and we'll see if we can't get you guys a little video of us putting this microwave back in. What I found is if I just get a hold of this thing like this and I get one corner up in there like so, then I can reach up in there and plug it in. Just like that. And once you get the feet on the plywood, see if I can get out of you guys' way. It goes pretty easy. And you can see, let me get a flashlight. You can see now that the feet of the microwave are actually setting on the plywood floor. And now you'll see when I line this up and slide it back in there, you see all that is doing now is keeping that from sliding out. It's not leaning one way or the other anymore. It's fitting in there really nicely. We're going to see if we can't put a couple screws in that. that. And what I'm thinking I can do, you'll notice that my brain was thinking a little bit. I drilled a couple holes in here. I was actually going to put a couple screws through the face, but you'll notice the face right here just barely covers. So there's actually nothing behind those holes. So that idea wouldn't work. Ultimately, I probably want to get a new one of these. But I think for now, we're just going to stick it up there like that. I'd like to get it, I guess, under it. And I think that's going to do it. I mean, I've kind of played around with the tools I have with me on the road. I've made those jagged edges. You can see I'm running my finger all over it. And it's not sharp enough that it's going to cut you instantly anyways. So for now, that's going to work. We'll keep an eye on this piece. When we find it online, again, back in stock, we'll go ahead and order one. Probably about the time that gets here, the microwave will die. And then we'll have to go to a different microwave, which will mean a different trim piece. Every microwave is a little bit different in size, and this trim ring is made to fit the microwave. Probably could get away, if I really wanted to, by taking like a piece of 1/4-inch plywood and drilling holes in it for the feet and screwing it down and sliding it in and dropping the feet into those holes, and that would lock it into place as well. The trim ring just really cleans it up is all. So I think that's about it. It's worth noting that when I first took this apart, I found a couple wire nuts, a leftover piece of Romex, and a whole bunch of sawdust down in that hole. So I did clean that out, of course, but you'll notice that. And that's, again, not picking on KZ, because I don't care if you get a Grand Design, if you get any of them. If you're really bored and someday you want to go to Camping World or something like that, really get in and look. Like, you know, open up the electrical breaker box, take a flashlight, look in there and see. You're going to see remnants. You're going to see sawdust. Every one of these manufacturers, none of them clean up after themselves. They leave everything right where it lays when they're done. They clean the piece you see, but that's about it. So I guess that's what you expect when you buy one of these. They're not held to the same standard as like a high-end home manufacturer, if you will. But anyhow, I think we're going to call that microwave project a wrap. I think our next project we have to deal with is we bought a Macerator pump, if I'm saying that correctly. So here at our friend's house in Florida, we're about, I'm going to say, well, no, actually we're 100 feet. So we've actually used this, so we're going to show you the pump a little later. We're just exactly 100 feet to the sewer connection for the RV from our sewer connection. So we were contemplating how to make that work, and we found a pump they call a Macerator pump that goes right on the end of the pipe on the RV, plugs into 12 volts, and it looks almost like an immersion blender. It's kind of cool. But it will chew everything up and pump it through a garden hose. So we have 100 feet of garden hose that we run over to his sewer connection, and the Macerator pump drains our black tank. We go 6 to 7 days on our black tank, and the last time we drained it took 6 minutes. So it's really fast too. We have a 3/4 inch and a 5/8 garden hose because that's all we could find at the store local here. But one thing we did is we actually, when we're trying to wire this thing up, it comes with about an 8-foot lead with the cigarette lighter plug on it. So we cut that off, and I got a couple odd plug, male and female plugs that are made for like a odd, I think it's 20 amps 120, but one of the blades sideways anyway, so it won't fit into a normal plug. And I put that together with a cheap set of booster cables from Rural King, and you could hook it to the truck battery. Now remember, our RV is 24 volt, not 12. We have a 12 volt system, but there's a DC to DC converter, and there's no good place to hook jumper cables to get 12 volts. So what we're going to do, our next video, we're going to show you, we're going to tear into our breaker box, and we're going to run a piece of extension cord in the belly of the camper over to that side where the sewer tap is, and we're going to have that plug on it. So then when we want to run the Macerator pump, we just open the side bay door, plug in, and we have 12 volts there. So that's going to be our next project. We've got to actually get that done today because we're on day 7. You know, we got to dump our black tanks. Last time I did it, I hooked it up to the truck battery, hooked it up backwards, and Sue's hollering at me like nothing's coming out. And it took me a while to figure that out. The pump will run no matter which way you get the polarity. The pump runs and sounds just the same. It's just not actually pumping out. It's trying to pump back in. Of course, there's nothing to pump in because the hose is empty. So anyhow, that's enough on that video. We will bring you back and show you how to hook that up. We've been doing a few little, tweaks to the RV as we're here. We're actually talking about buying a new couch, something a little bit more comfortable. We'll bring you along for that. We may actually have to drive to Indiana, I think Sue said, and get the couch. She found an Amish company, I think it is, that makes these couches, and they look like they're really high quality and very comfortable from all the reviews. So we may have to go check that out. Thank you guys for a road trip. Anyhow, enough of me rambling today. We've got the microwave back in. I don't think it's going to fall out on our next journey, so we're going to call that a win. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.